want to talk about change, and I want to talk about the function and the methodology of change. How does change really work? We'll talk about it on a philosophical level, but also on a, let's see how close I can get to a scientific level as well. Well, let's say when I say scientific, I actually mean universal principles which govern everything around us. And hopefully the scientists amongst you will agree that that means scientific. It's measurable by everything, the functional, working, mathematical processes of the world. So the first element of change, before any change can happen at all, we need to distinguish the concept of completion. And to me, it's a hardy-dar, you can see it. So I asked the South Africans here, why do you call them hardy-dars? And because they said, because they go, hardy-dar, hardy-dar. But they actually don't. They go, ah, and that's all they do. We talk about perceptions in another one of the river talks by the river. So let's go to the functioning nature of the reality around us, nature's reality around us. How does, oh, hello, oh, that feels quite nice. It's one of those really good little hard fighters, I think. So how does the nature around us do change? Well, nature can't change unless there's been a fundamental completion of what's been before. When something's here and it's occurred and it's been, and it's filling up the space, whatever it is, whether it's a plant, a tree, a human being, an idea, and it's full up and it's filled that space. To be able to create something different to that, you'll need to create another space. In other words, you need to complete a cycle of where you were with that thing until something else opens up, and then you can create a vacuum and something can come and fill it. In nature, nature would call this winter. Nature would call the element of completion winter. So what does winter do? Well, you look at it and it does everything that you want it to do to get rid and complete everything that's been before. Even if everything that's come before has been really good and has been amazing, like amazing growth, amazing rainfall, amazing sunshine to propagate the seeds, and the harvest is working really well. You still need an autumn to make that happen, to harvest that, and then the winter comes along, and what winter does, in essence, it gets rid of everything that's not needed anymore for the future. So it's ruthless in its ability to cut down whole trees, if you like, or at least leaves and branches, and take the ground back, or the environment back to the very basic core, to the root. And from that root, growth can start once again, which is the whole idea of completion. Now, on a human level, we could look at that on a very physical level, but because we're more mental than the rest of the environment around us, we're not a plant or a tree, although that's inside us, as I talk about on one of the other river talks. But on a mental level, we've got lots of ideas, we've got plans, we've got goals, we've got projects which we're doing out there, and if our life is full up with all of that stuff, there's no room for any new growth. So periodically, and you could say every day really, we need a period of time or a strategy to clean up what's been done before so we can start again. And the analogy, one of my favourite analogies, because I think you can get this on the visceral level, is doing the washing up after a dinner. So you make the food, which you could call the spring in the way. The summer would be the cooking of the food, and it's all out there on the table. The autumn would be the eating of the food, the harvesting, if you like. And then the winter is what is the bit which not many people really enjoy so much. The winter is doing the washing up. Now if you can imagine a life where you never ever do the washing up, of course the kitchen starts getting a little bit untidy. Plates and pots and pans and grime, and then eventually obviously you're avoiding doing the washing up, which in a way, if that's your nervous system full up with things that haven't been completed, then there's an interruption in the communication. Now if you imagine if that goes on, you're you'll even avoid the kitchen itself. And again, it's the same as your body as well. You'll start avoiding whole areas of your life internally where you don't even go there anymore to find out what's real, update old memories, talk about things. They're kind of almost like avoided, like a bleeding rhinoceros head on the table that no one's talking about, but it's there. The washing up in the kitchen is very evident. So before anything, and in terms of us as human beings, talking about nature, how nature works, in terms of the seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter, we have those same seasons in one day as human beings as well. They might not be as evident, well they are very evident, but we don't distinguish them very easily. So for instance, the winter, if you're thinking about it, what is the winter in terms of a day, a daily routine? Well, that's going to be 8 hours in bed. That's when you get the chance to complete, on the unconscious level, to complete old things. That's when your body gets a chance to really clean up what's been done the day before. The spleen can take over and start doing the nighttime cleanup, if you like, because the liver's been doing the daytime cleanup. So our lives, our very human existences depend on those. A third of our lives is spent kind of being dead in a way, but definitely recuperating and regenerating. So you can look at the natural cycles of outside of you and the natural cycles of inside of you. So every single day you have the chance on a physical level to really integrate everything that's been going on in that day, to become holy, make it whole. Like a holiday or a holy day is basically the time you spend after you've been doing the work to make sense of everything around you and make that existence whole and complete and have integrity again. So in terms of the completion, the kind of things that you can do in your life is paying the bills, making sure if you said you're going to write a book, then write the book. If you said you're going to, take up acting this year, then take up acting the year, or take it off the agenda. So I just need to take care of this fish. This fish is ready. It's only a small one. I might actually get out by hand and be lucky to hand line him or her out. Yeah, it's a small common carp. There we have it. It's a lovely common carp, quite a small one. We put him on her back. Gorgeous.